Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, one of the most polarizing Democrats in his party. He has gone against the grain on multiple occasions. In an exclusive interview with Sweet Caroline Levitt's nemesis, Caitlin Collins, he discusses the issues that are happening in Minneapolis and said this cannot continue and they need a reset. And he also admitted that Kristi Noem should step down for her actions and how she's handling the situation and all the fatal shootings that has occurred in the past weeks. It can't continue and it needs to be reset and handled, otherwise there'll be more casualties. Yes, the borders were open and wasn't handled by the Democrat Party, but the way the Republicans are handling the situation, John Fetterman says he's not on board with that. Take a listen.
Kristi Noem called Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist. Those are similar sentiments to what we saw, from Stephen Miller and others.
Yeah. He was not a terrorist or anything. That's absurd. And that's the kind of rhetoric and the way she's behaved, after that tragedy. That's one of the reasons why I think it's entirely appropriate. She should be fired for those things. She's lost the confidence. And I think if there's more Republicans being honest, they would agree with me on this. I mean, I know there's plenty of Democrats, with Mayorkas. He was incompetent and he really should go, but they were afraid to really speak out. So when someone's unable and they have failed, they should be removed at this point. And I warned that it would cost us the election because the border was a failure. So degrading the Trump's legacy with about securing our border. One of the things that he won and what he has made a priority in his administration.
The audio that keeps cutting out, that's on John Fetterman's end. He's sitting in a damn dungeon trying to do an interview on live TV. Whoever advised him to give an interview with poor wireless service, they need to be fired. And as for Kristi Noem, we keep criticizing the left-wing media for being fake news. And Kristi Noem is in a head position and we're expecting her to give the accurate information. If you don't have accurate information at the time you get in front of the American people, it's best you wait until you get all the answers resolved. Otherwise, you look foolish. You make President Trump look foolish. You make the cabinet look foolish. And in the end, that's a fireable offense.
There's a fight here in Washington when it comes to funding ICE and the DHS funding bill. I know you said you don't want to shut the government down over this. You do want changes made to how ICE operates. How do you force those changes without holding up this funding bill?
Well, I mean, I want everybody to know that vote will not have any impact on the funding for ICE at this point. They've had many, many, many billions available after the big, beautiful bill. They have all of the necessary funding to operate for a while. And that big, beautiful bill, I did not vote for that. Not a single Democrat in D.C. voted for those things. So for now, I do hope they're able to unbundle all those bills, and virtually everyone would quickly pass 5 of them, and it's all going to come down to that one bill. But it seemed more and more unlikely that that's going to happen. And now, so for me, do we really want to stop paying our military two times in 2 months at this point? So I would remind everybody that does not defund ICE. And for me, as a Democrat, I absolutely reject to abolish or defund, ICE. ICE is necessary, but it needs to make some changes at this point. So that's here we are. So shutting the government down and punishing and not paying the military and all of the other critical parts of our government will now shut down if this is shut down. It is not going to defund or do anything because there's billions and billions after the big beautiful bill.
You hear that, Democrats? John Fetterman has said he did not sign on for the big beautiful bill. So you guys can quit hating on John Fetterman, because every time he goes against you guys, you call him the worst of the worst Democrats to ever been voted into his seat. But now, when he goes on your side, you don't hear a mumbling word out of the Democrat Party. Even Caitlin Collins is at a loss for words after hearing John Fetterman speak about Kristi Noem, the big beautiful bill, and defunded ICE agents. No, not defunded, but revising. And John Fetterman, bro, with all due respect, man, don't you ever in your life do an interview in a damn dungeon. That's absolute trash, bro.
Yeah, Democrats have said they want to tie it to changes they want to see at ICE, which you said you want to see as well. Can I ask you, in 2016, when you were the lieutenant governor, you said that you believe sanctuary cities make everybody safer. Given that has been the administration's argument against what's happening in Minneapolis, do you still agree with that tonight? Is that still your position, that sanctuary cities make people safer?
I think at that time, the dynamic has changed much differently, and the border has become more and more increasingly more difficult. So for me now, I think it's entirely appropriate to make the adjustments, and I do think at this point we should be turning over all the criminals that are in custody in all these jurisdictions.
Does that, for Minneapolis, obviously you're the senator from Pennsylvania, but in Minnesota, Jacob Fry, the mayor, says he doesn't believe that they should cooperate with those federal enforcement laws. So you do believe that they should be cooperating more with the Trump administration?
What I do believe is that if there are law enforcement that have these people in custody that are behaving in criminal behavior, then yes, they should cooperate with that, and those individuals, if they're convicted, should be deported.
And so your stance on sanctuary cities has changed then, is that right, Senator?
I think it's evolved because the dynamics and the circumstances, with respects to our border has.
Senator John Fetterman, thank you for joining us tonight. I always appreciate having you on the show, and thanks for your time.
Nice try, Caitlin. You thought you had a friend. Nah, John Fetterman still believes that if you come into this country illegally and undocumented, and you out there being an MS-13 gang member, a drug dealer, a child rapist, your ass needs to be turned over to law enforcement. Period. At one time it might have been okay to have sanctuary cities, but with those borders being open, wide open, it's unsafe for Americans. We gotta get those guys out of the country. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow God, not coaching.